Look how a single man stopped the death of a prophet. Jerusalem was in turmoil, hunger, and fear. The city gates shook with rumors of war. In the palace courtyard, some officials threw Jeremiah into a deep pit. There was no water there, only thick, cold mud. Jeremiah sank to his waist and had no more strength. The soldiers walked away laughing. They said he would never escape. Silence settled over the court like a heavy stone. An Ethiopian named Ebed-Melech served in the palace. He heard everything. His heart was troubled. He went to the people, but no one would listen. He lifted his eyes and climbed to the chamber of the king. The guards looked at him in surprise. He walked past them with firm steps. He entered before Zedekiah and bowed. He spoke simply. He said that the men had done evil. He said the prophet would die in the mud if he was not lifted out. Would you have stepped out of the crowd to speak to the king? The king was silent for a moment. Then he commanded, "Take 30 men and pull him out of the pit." Ebed-Melech ran to the storerooms under the palace. There he found old rags and pieces of cloth. He carried them in his arms. He asked for strong ropes. He came to the edge of the pit and shouted, "Jeremiah, lift your arms, take hold of the ropes." But his voice broke when he saw the black mud. He understood that the ropes would cut his flesh. He made knots with the cloth. He tied them into wide pads. He shouted again, "Put the cloth under your arms. That way you will not suffer." The men looked at each other. Some laughed. Another said it could not be done. Ebed-Melech did not stop. He climbed down the wall of clay. His feet touched the mud. He felt the cold biting. He pushed the cloth under the arms of the prophet. He tied the ropes to the knots. He looked up and said softly, "Pull now." What strength of work he had. They all pulled at once. Ebed-Melech pulled with clenched teeth. The rope creaked. The mud held tight. Jeremiah groaned. A soldier slipped and fell on his knees. Another wanted to leave. Ebed-Melech cried out, "A little more." Once again. They pulled and pulled. Their knees burned. Their hands burned. But the body of the prophet rose slowly from the mire. He came into the light covered with mud. Ebed-Melech caught him by the shoulders. He held him against the wall. He kept him from falling. Then he led him to the courtyard and gave him water. He gave him bread. He wiped his face with a clean piece of cloth. That evening the rumors returned. Heavy steps were heard on the streets. It was said the army of Babylon was near. A courier ran into the palace with dust on his head. He demanded to speak. The people began to whisper again. Some looked at Ebed-Melech with coldness, others with wonder. How could a servant dare to change the command of the officials? Would you have gone down into that cold mud? Night fell quickly over the walls. The wind howled through the gates. Ebed-Melech stayed near the room where Jeremiah prayed in silence. He lit a small lamp. He laid the rags to dry. And he waited. Footsteps echoed in the corridor. They stopped at the door. They moved on again. In the distance, a horn sounded long. No one knew what the morning would bring. But in the heart of Ebed-Melech there was a strange peace. He knew he had done what was right. He knew the life of a man had been pulled from the pit. Write in the comments what you would have done if you were in the place of Ebed-Melech. Would you have gone to the king and climbed into the pit, or would you have stayed silent and walked away?